Today, I want to talk about the serious issues in India right now. According to many major news sources such as CNN, there has been blatant violations of human rights. These violations of human rights are often brutal beatings conducted by many men against one woman. Unfortunately, many of these beatings are often sexually based. Even worse, these criminals are normally not pursued or prosecuted by the Indian government. They are not pursued by the government because India has a strong culture ingrained in their society that supports a severe patriarchy where women are greatly inferior to men. It is so great that women are often not treated as humans, as you can see in these blatant violations of human rights. This is a very unfortunate situation. As Americans and defenders of human rights, we need to do something. However, India is a sovereign state with a relatively stable government. What can we do? Open criticism by Secretary of State John Kerry or President Barack Obama will not do much. The criticism would not affect or influence any of the Indians that believe in the strong inferiority of women. Even though we are the most powerful country in the world, brutal military force will not do much either. No amount of military force or bloodshed cannot affect a culture the way they believe and the way they live. Money or bribes cannot change that either. Perfect examples of this is in the 1980s during the Cold War and the collapse of it. In the 1980s, Nicaragua was run under a totalitarian government. A CIA-backed group of infidels called the Contras attempted to overthrow this government and install a democratic government. However, there was not enough backing in Nicaragua. There was only a small group of people that was looking for a democratic government and not enough people that were looking to overthrow the dictatorship. There was not enough culture or belief that something needed to be changed. So it did not work. In this case, the money nor the military power could not affect anything. Another perfect example is the collapse of the Soviet Union ending the Cold War. After the Soviet Union collapsed, America tried to press for a democratic government that had a strong base similar to us in Russia. However, based off of the election conflict and riots recently, it is clear that their government has not been a stable democracy as we have wished. As you can see, this did not work. Another great example would be, let's say we flip the tables on and make us the victims. Let's say that someone like President Putin or another distinguished individual from a foreign country decided that we need to change the way we live. Let's say maybe they decided that we eat too much fast food. We need to cut down, and fast food is destroying our ethics or our culture, and it's unnecessary for us. And instead of eating all this fast food, maybe we all need to convert to Catholicism and pray more. How would you feel about that? How would the nation as a whole receive that? Would we listen to them and cut down these $1 million corporations such as McDonald's, Wendy's, and Burger King? Would church attendance spike up right away just because some guy from another country that appears to be intelligent decided to say that we needed to change our life? I don't think so. This is a serious issue in India because, as you can see, open criticism by President Barack Obama would be similar. As Americans, we know what we want and we know what is in the best interest of us, the nation, and everybody's daily lives. We are not the only country that feels that. Other countries, such as India, feels that also. Another perfect example, or a more political example, would be German Ambassador Klaus Schwab trying to discourage President George Bush from from escalating the war on terrorism into Iraq. Ambassador Klaus Schwab said that the war in Iraq is a wrong step in fighting terrorism. However, President George Bush decided not to listen to the foreign leader and continue with his plan because he felt he knew what was in the best interest of the United States of America. The war in Iraq has been highly debated since its beginning and end. Many people agreed with the French government and German Ambassador Klaus Schwab in not going to war. However, we did, and there was a high toll of deaths. So, money isn't the answer. Open criticism by even Barack Obama or John Kerry is not the answer. And military force is not the answer. What is the solution? What is the trick to convince the Indians to change their culture that they have followed and that they have believed for centuries? A great start would be working with the other party, working with the Indian government, the activist groups in India, the individuals in India, and the victims of these terrible crimes. A perfect example of someone that we could work with is Malala Yousafzai. Malala Yousafzai is a teen in Pakistan, and she gained international fame for being a strong advocate for educational equality for women. Pakistan has the same issue as India. The patriarchy has severely limited women's rights and women's opportunities. So instead of working with Malala Yousafzai in Pakistan, we could find other activist groups in India. Working with these activist groups and victims of this terrible crime will definitely help us change the culture in India. The people like Malala Yousafzai or Indian activist groups could relate to Indians more. We could use our vast amount of resources to help these groups so they could talk to Indians and try to convince them that human rights and equal opportunities for both sexes is the way to go. Groups such as feministindia.com and the Citizens Front for Water and Democracy are perfect examples of the kind of groups that we need to get involved with in order to make a change in India. We cannot do it by ourselves, and neither can India. We need to work together to find a way to solve this problem. Thank you.